Welcome, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for the like. Let's just wait for some couple of minutes for others to join in before we proceed. How you guys doing today? Can somebody engage me like before we begin while we're waiting for everyone? Can somebody just engage me? Just say something, ask a question or something, just to get the mood going before we start properly while we wait for others. I'm sorry, guys. I'm back now. I had to just go and sort out something. Let me see to check how many people is with us. Okay. bro. Have fun now. Welcome. Yeah, shouts out to you guys. I see you guys here, man. Shouts out to you guys. Appreciate the love, man. I really do. I just did try wait for some time so other people fit join us, Shogun. You guess like, let me just give people some time to join before like we begin. You understand? Because once I don't start, I'm not go like they go back too much. You feel me? So even if not 3 to 5 people, no matter, we'll just continue. If it's what 9:30 and there's still the same amount of people here, we can just continue regardless. Like everybody else that's busy right now or something can just always come back to watch the stream. But I'm just trying to chill for others to join us for a minute. Oh my Shagun, me too. I'm still waiting. Oh, I'm still waiting. Oh, still waiting. Honestly, but I think Chris just joined. Shout out Chris, OG for real. Shout out to you, bro. Oh, Damilola as well. See you. Shout out to you guys. Okay. I think we should just start because I don't know. Maybe you guys are busy or something, so we'll just start, shall. And yeah, let's just continue. So here in the input section, give me a second, guys, please. Right. So we're trying to build these sections, right? If you're with us the last time we streamed, we're able to build. Let me come to my Figma here. I'm just restart that. Let me just restart this. But if you're with us the last time we streamed, we're able to build these elements and these elements, right? Including the hover state, the clicked on state, where you click on it and it has a blinking cursor, you click out and it stops, all of that, right? Right? We're able to build all of that, right? In the last time we streamed. So today we want to talk about these these input elements with the pricing feature on them, right? Where you can hover, click on this, and this would sorry guys, we're trying to Give me a second, please. Sorry guys, I beg no vex. I did living room and my bros are like in the kitchen and it's like echoing in my ear, so just making me uncomfortable. Yeah, so we did we already did these three elements the first time, the last time we streamed, right? So this time we're trying to build these ones with the pricing on them. We'll do others later, but we're trying to build these ones with the pricing on them, right? Let me see if the Figma is opened up now. Okay, who's this? Liafa. Hmm. So basically, give me a second. I'm just trying to reload that presentation page. Right, so we're able to come up with these the last time. As you can see, they all hover, and now if you click on this, see this blinks. If you click on this, this blinks. If you click on this as well, also blinks. This as well, this as well, this as well. Just as, excuse me, just as we have here, here, and here, right? So just as we have here as well, so we have here, and just as we have here, right? So those were the little things we're able to. Thank you very much, Damilola. Those are the little things that we're able to do the last time we streamed. So right now we're going to implement these designs, right? This one where, you know, you can come here and press all these keys and the number changes, right? From 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8, you know, all of that and all of that like that, with the blinking cursor still there. Do you understand? When the number changes, you can see that the blinking cursor is still there, right? So let's just take note of all these very little dynamics first of all, and let's see if we can use this same, if we can use something like this here as well. So let me just take this down to 0, I guess. 0. Let me click out, click in, click out here, click in, click out. Hold on, trying to see something. Okay, let me restart it because I think they have default states, and I don't think you can return to the default state after you interact with the button. So let me just check that again to be double sure. Guys, I don't mind you guys watching the streams after, like, it doesn't matter. It's helpful if you guys are with me on the stream, shy. It just keeps me going. It helps with, you know, it's just better that, like, to know if there's someone with you while you're doing whatever you're doing, you feel me? So even if it's one person or two people, I don't mind, like, but please just try to stay with me, I beg. It's not easy doing it on your own. Anyway, yeah, so these are the default states, right? So the default states cannot be, you can't go back to the default state after you interact with the button, basically, right? You cannot go back to the default state, and it looks like the default states are the same for all these buttons. The default states are the same, right? So let's try and see how we can build just this regular default state, right, before we click on it, right? So let's start from the one up top, right? So I'll come here. come here. I will just say I want to create a new text with frame in it. So just come here. See that this is just a regular frame, right? Let me open up CSS Paper and see the dimensions and everything that is going on with this frame right now. First things first, we have, we have this and we have this. That's that $sign and this numbers. Then we have these icons that only turn up, or they only show when you hover on the button, right? That only show when you hover on the button. So let's try and recreate this $sign and this numbering inside the frame, right? So let's do that real quick. So come here, you can press T, click on the canvas, say you want $shift 4 right there, zoom in. Now I want to get the text size of these numbers here. For me to do that, if it is really hard to get CSS Paper to determine these numbers. So I will just use the text size for this text I use here on the website and on the email to determine what should be here, because as you can see, they are the same height, the same width, and basically share the same system. So let's just come back here. I'll just come here and see this text size is 14 pixels, right? So I'll just come down here and say I want this one to be 14 pixels as well. So I want it to be 14 pixels. Wait, hold on. Come back. Say I want it to be 14 pixels by 20 pixels in height, right? And zoom out, come back. Now you have that $sign symbol, and then you have some text, right? Some numbering text. So I'll press T again, click on the canvas, zoom in, and say 0.00, right? Just like that, and just bring it close to that frame, that symbol, that $ symbol, and just leave it there, right? Come back again to the frame and see what I should do and what I shouldn't do. Okay, so in the default state, there is no button, right? All these buttons don't come up, right? In the default state. So let me see. We'll have to put these two together, which is the symbol and the numbering, right? So let's do that real quick. Come back to design workspace and just select the both of them and put them in an auto layout by pressing Shift A. Now I don't want padding on the top and bottom just yet. Come back to the design again and see how they build theirs. You can see that the frame holding this symbol and these numbers is going all the way to the top. Like it's all the way to the top and the bottom. There's no space between this frame and the main frame, if that makes sense. The frame that is holding this symbol and these buttons, this symbol, this text, and even these buttons in hover state touches the main frame on the top and at the bottom, right? There's only space on the left and the right, right? So let's see how big the frame is in terms of height. So we can see that the frame is 182 pixels in width by 40 pixels in height, right? So let's just adjust ours to be about that same thing. So 182 pixels in width. So we'll just give this fixed width and say we want it to be 182 in width, and then for height we want it to be 40 as well, right? We don't want padding on the top and bottom. Why? Let's come here. Okay, let's say we even want padding on the top and bottom, right? Let's say we want padding on the top and bottom. So we'll just make this whole content back. So this is 20 again. So we'll say what? We want 10 top and bottom, which equals 20, right? So we have this, right? So that's okay. So we'll just name this, what do we name this? We'll name this, let me see. We'll just name this price interaction, right? We'll just name that price interaction, right? So now that we've named this price interaction, we want to put this price interaction in a much bigger frame, which is this outer frame that you see now. So let's click on this outer frame. So this outer frame now is 206 by 40 with 12 pixels on the left and right. So let's do that. So we'll come here and give this one Shift A again to create another frame on top of it, right? Now we'll give this one 12 on the right and left and 0 top and bottom. So now we have 206 by 40 just as we have here, right? 206 by 40 just as we have here. We'll come here again to see what other things we need to do. Give it a border radius of 12 pixels and we'll copy the fill color right there. That's the background color, right? So right there, we'll just copy that right there. So come here, give this a fill, border radius of 12, press enter, give this a fill and paste that color right there. So we have that, right? Right. Is it making sense so far? Is it making sense so far? And can you guys see my screen and hear me clearly? I don't know if this is accurate from YouTube, but let me know if you can see my screen and hear me clearly, please. All right. So now this is beginning to look like the default state that we see here, right? But there are some little changes. There are some little things we need to change and adjust, right? This dollar symbol has a dull color in comparison to this numbering. And this numbering color is also dull in comparison to these icons, right? To these buttons here, right? So let's take note of that. We already know these colors. If you've been following the stream so far, and just like Daniel said in the last stream, design is system oriented. These next UI components that we're rebuilding, they all follow a system. So if you've been watching the stream so far, you understand that these colors, we already ascertained them already. And from the way these elements are set up, it will be hard for us to pick these colors with CSS Paper right now. So I will just make it easier for myself to go back and pick the colors from the previous designs we did, because we already know what these colors are, right? But we know this one is a lot dull in comparison to this, and this is dull as well in comparison to this, right? So now that we know that, let's find these colors and give it to them. So come back to the canvas. If okay, we're not even going to have to go too far here, right here. So let's see. We're looking for a color that is like A1 and a D4, no, A1 and 717 something. So those are the two colors we're looking for exactly. So we can see this one is A1 AA and 71717A. So those are the two colors we're looking for, right? The A1 is much brighter than the 71. So give these numbers the A1 color right here, and we'll come here, copy that color. So we'll copy that 71717A. Just copy that, we'll Control C. Come here on the symbol and say we want to give that a color, right? So let's see from afar. This is zoomed in 100%. Let's zoom in at 200% so you can see. And let's go back to, and now if you zoom out, if you see about the same thing, right? So about the same thing. So now we have successfully built the default state, right? So now let's build the hover state, right? That has these buttons, right? And you can see that these buttons also have their own hover states. So we have to build these buttons independently first before we bring them here, so that when we hover on them inside this new button we are creating, they would also interact. So let's do that first. Let's go and create those tiny icons. So I'll say I want to click F on my keyboard and click on my canvas. That's to create a frame, right? So I want this frame to be, let's go back to our design here. We can see that these two buttons is the same height as this $1 symbol or as this numbering. So basically, if this numbering and this dollar symbol, if the height is 20, it means that this button is 10 each or 8 each with space of 2 in between, because the total height of these buttons here is the total height of this numbering or this text symbol here, right? Okay, so that's what I just want you guys to know before we continue. So now that we know that, let's continue. So I'll come here and give this frame, I want this frame to be 10 pixels in height and width, right? So I'll bring that here, right? I want to have space in between the two buttons, to be very honest, right? Because if you can see, I don't think the edges are touching themselves. I think there's at least 1 to 2 pixels of space between them, at least, right? So let me say I want it to be 8 pixels, right? 8 pixels. So I would duplicate that. Let me, hold on, give me a second. Okay. So I would duplicate that, right? I will duplicate that real quick. All right. I'll zoom in. Let me zoom out a little bit. So I want it to be 8 pixels as well. I'll come to my components and come to my plugins rather. I want to bring in arrow keys. Just give me a second. My CPU is loaded up with this streaming software, so it might take a minute for things to load up. Just give me a minute, please. So I'll just say I want arrow keys, just arrow, and I want them to be filled, because if you check, these are not strokes, more like fill icons. So I want the icons to be filled. So yeah, I want the one that goes down and the one that comes up, or goes up and goes down, whichever way works for you. So I want the one that goes up and the one that comes down. Hold on, let me just do that again. Okay, cool. So I'll just take out this, come here, arrow up, arrow down, arrow up. Now let me take this out, this one here. Okay, so I'll come here, and I want these to be what, 8 pixels as well each. So I'll bring this one that goes up, I'll just put that into this frame and align it properly. Bring this here and align this here inside here properly. Right, so zoom in. Let me see, because like if you remember, I said these colors have default states and they have hover as well. It might be hard for me to determine the hover here. Let me see, let me try and see if I actually can. I'm hovering on it and nothing is happening. I swear, nothing is happening. Okay, you know what? Let's just be designers here and just do something crazy, right? Let's just give these new colors, right? New sets of colors, because honestly, I cannot determine the color here. Let me see if I can use DevTools for that. Just give me a second. Before we take any drastic steps, let's make sure we tick all the boxes. Okay, so I want to click on this button that says select an element in the page to inspect it. So I'll just come here. Ooh. Okay, I can't get anything here. Don't worry, we'll just go with our gut and do it. We'll just do it. We'll just do it, right? So let's look for a color to give this, right? So now we also know that this only comes on when there is a hover state. So let's make the hover state of this first before we come and check for the colors, right? Because to make it easier for us to determine the colors. So let's just zoom out here. Let's come here. I will say this one will be called price button, right? We'll just call this price button, right? and we'll say we want to make this a component and give it a variant, right? So we already know the hover color here. We'll just call this one hover, right? We'll come to fill, click on that fill, select colors, pick the color picker tool, and click on the hover color right there, right? So now we have the hover color, right? So this will give us a good base to start from when we're dealing with this. So let's just come here and pick this color, right? Pick this color. You know what? Let's bring in a frame, right? Bring in a frame and give that frame that color we just picked, which is the hover color, and put these two inside just to make the color picking a bit easier for us instead of just guessing, no guesswork. So we'll just bring this inside here, right? So now that hover color is our base here, so we can build with this. It'll be a lot easier to build with this. So let's click on just one, start with one. Click on the fill color and click on this. There's something I explained to you guys how I pick my colors. I use HSB, hue, saturation, and brightness. So now that I use the color picker tool to main color, right? Let me go back. Let me click on this one, for example. I clicked on this one because I want to work with a color that is similar with this, not too far from this, but is distinct from this. So now I've given it the same color as this, but here, this is the hue, 240. I don't want to change the hue. I want the hue to be the same as the hue of my background, which is the hover color. But I want to change the saturation and brightness, so it's a bit different from the hover color, right? And mind you, this color also have its own hover as well. So this what is saturation, right? So maybe I want the saturation to be the same, but I want the brightness to be, I want it to be a bit brighter than this. So I'll say I want it to be 40 instead of 27, right? So as you can see, look at how it looks like. So meaning that, let's go back to see what it looks like here. Okay, so if you just hover on the button, right, you can see the borders of these icons, but not too much. You can see the borders of the icons, but not too much, right? So basically the fill color is not too present in the hover state here, as you can see, right? As you can see. So I think it's even a darker color, not even a brighter color. So let's come here to fill and drop this brightness from, it was 27 before, we made it 40, so let's make it 20. Exactly. Now let's give the icon inside the color of white. And if you've been following as well, we have ascertained the brightest color for this system, which is this. So let's just come here, copy that color, zoom in to that frame there, zoom in, zoom out a little bit, come here, change that black color to that color we'll just copy, right, which is this. So we have this, right? Let's go back and see. Right, so now, okay, I think it's a bit too much. Come here, say 25. Yeah, just about right, just about, not too present, but just a bit present, but not too present. Let me even say 26. Let me say 26. So let's say 26, right? Oh, you can't even see this at all. I mean, you can, but like, let's just say 25, right? Let's just say 25. So let's come here, say 25, right? So 25, not bad. So let's do the same for the one beneath. So come here and say we want wait, hold on. You know, let's just pick the colors. We want this black one to be this bright one inside here, right? Same thing. Then we want this fill color here, which is full white, to be this fill color here. Same thing, but I think it's 10 though. 240, 10, 25. Let me check. 240, 10, 25. But let me just copy it just to be safe. Just copy the hex code. Come here, paste the hex code. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Copy here, copy that, come here, copy that white hex code and come here, paste it again. Just to be safe. No particular reason at all. So zoom out there. So now we've been able to, let's put this in an auto layout. Put this in an auto layout. Give it a spacing of 2. So you see the height is 18. That's from top to bottom is 18. So let me give it a pattern of 0. Height is 16. Right? Let me give it a pattern of 1. Because I don't think there was too much space, even if there was space between them. Are you guys following so far? Are you guys following so far? Oh, thank you, Shirley. Let me get some water. Okay, let me get some water. Oh, please, guys, can you type in the chat box if you're understanding so far, so I can continue. If there's anything you want to ask, you might just ask now. I can reply to you before we get too deep. Okay, in the absence of feedback, I think we proceed, yeah? I bet, my bro. Bet, my bro. Okay, let's proceed. Wow, thank you guys for the likes. I appreciate it, man. One love, one love. Emeka, you're here as well. Shout out to you, bro. Now you be the real OG, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so basically, we've been able to determine, because if you check, what we're trying to do is just replicate these icons here, right? And also replicate the default color and the hover color on it, because other than this main button, these icons, these little icon buttons also have their own tiny interactions as well. So that's what we're trying to do. So we've given them their basic color, and I don't know, it feels like there isn't any space between them. If you ask me, if I'm being totally honest, it doesn't feel like there's space between them, man. Or even if there is, like, just 1 pixel of space. Yeah, honestly, it doesn't feel like there's space between them, honestly. So I wouldn't give them space. And altogether the height is what, 16, so it's calm, it's an even number. I don't mind. So what I'll do now is I'll make this I'll just name this from frame 8 to let me say arrow buttons, right? Let me just say arrow buttons, right? Arrow buttons. I'll now make this a auto layer. I'll make this a component and give it a variance. So I'll just bring this component frame outside this frame 7. I only use this frame 7 to determine what the base color will be in comparison to the hover color, right? So I'll just take that one out and come here. Now that we already know this is the default color, I want to give the hover color, which is this. So we'll just name this one okay. Let me just go back here. So here I will just take, I'll select this. Give me a second. I'll just select this, right? Bring it out of the auto layout. Select this, bring it out of the auto layout. Wait, what? Give me a second. I'm trying to, just let me just duplicate this, duplicate that, right? And duplicate this as well, right? So I'll delete this one. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take out the auto layout. I just want these frames with the icons alone, right? So I'm trying to take out the auto layout. So just give me a second. I'll just take out the auto layout, the arrow buttons right there. Take this one out as well. So I'll leave this one and this one, right? So what I want to do is I want to make this an independent component on its own, right? So I'll just make it a component and give it a variant, right? So I'll bring that here. I just want one of the buttons, not both. It's to mess up the interaction. I'll explain. So if you come here now, I just want to set this to prototype. When you hover on it, it comes down. So just put this on hover, not on click. So say while hovering, you want it to come down, right? Not instant. Smart animate, ease out 300 milliseconds, just like that. Then you set that out. Now let's set the hover color for this. So come back to design, and we'll go to fill. So we want this color to be a bit brighter than this one, right? So now let's check the hover color. Let's go back here and see something. So the hover color of the icon, the arrow buttons, is a bit lighter than the hover color here. So let's just do that real quick. So this one is what? 10, 27 on the brightness. So we want like maybe 28, 29 on the brightness, or 29 or 30 really. So let's come here and say we want the brightness to be 29 or 30. Let's just say 30, right? 30, right? So what I want to do is I want to put this frame now inside this just to see how it will look, because as you know, this is the default and this is the hover, right? So let me come here again. I think the default is too bright, so I'll just say 24. Wait, hold on, what is this? 27. I'll make this 26. I'll make this 26. Yeah, almost invisible. Yeah, exactly. I'll just make that 26. I don't know why I give it 25 initially. Make that 26. Call this one hover, and make this one 29. It's 30 for this is okay. So 30 for this is calm. Okay, so now that I have that, we'll just bring that here. Okay, another thing, right? Somebody was asking me about swap instance, that they understand how it is and how it works, but let me break it down from the beginning. So I want to use swap instance here because, as you guys can see, I've only created I've only created one button. I'll just name this arrow button, right? I'll just name this arrow button. Now this button has a hover state. Do you understand? This button has a hover state, right? So now I want to be able to switch icon. I want to be able to switch icons because this arrow goes up. We also have an arrow that comes down. I want to be able to switch between those icons. Sure, you understand? And I don't want to stress myself. So what I'll do is, this is how swap instance work, right? You can only swap instance to the component first of all. So this is what I'm going to do, right? The first thing I'm going to do is I will just come here to copy this vector, right, that goes up, and bring it outside. This arrow, sorry, right? The arrow that goes up and bring it out, just bring that outside, right? Now, so now this one now, right? This one, I want to make it a component. So I'll just make it a component right now like this, right? I'll bring this one that goes down as well. Not the frame 7. I'll come into arrow down 1 and drag it out of there. Bring it here, right? I'll make this a component as well, right? I'll just leave these both of them like this. Then I'll come here. I'll copy this component, right? I'll copy it. I'll come in here to my default. See this arrow here? I'll paste it to replace. Right? Paste it to replace, just like that. Now you can see that this default is a component. This is the component, right? That's this box. If you remember, the icon is inside the box. Now if you check the icon as well, the icon is also a component on its own, right? So now let's now set swap instance so that by the time we want to work with this button, we can change the icons however we want. So I'll come in here. We're already selected on the arrow components. This is the default components, right? The main components here. Inside this main component, there's another component inside, which is this arrow component. So we'll come there and come here and say we want to create a swap instance property. Click on that. We want to call this swap instance property icon. That's all. So we'll copy this whole frame, which is default now, because it already has a swap instance and it has the component and all of that. This is the newer version. copy that one, come beneath and say we want to paste to replace, because if you open their hover state now, which is the one beneath, this arrow is not a component, it is still a basic frame. So we'll just come here and say we want to paste to replace. Paste to replace, right? Before we paste to replace, I want to, the color is, that's this color here is 45454D, right? Because remember the hover color is different. So I'll just paste to replace here. Paste to replace there. Bring it to position and say I want the field to be 45454D, right? So that's that. Then come here, set the prototype again, see, delete that hover and bring it down and say on hover, you want it to, while hovering, you want it to move to the one beneath, smart animate 300 milliseconds. Okay. Now we didn't rename it, come down, just rename it to hover again, right? So that's how we have that. So now let me show you how you can use that swap instance property. So now, just delete this, come to your assets tab, local components on input, arrow down, arrow up, arrow buttons, right? So come here, click the arrow button, right? So let's bring the arrow button into this frame. And let's duplicate it 2 to 3 times. So just drag that out once and press Command D, Command D, Command D, Command D, right? I don't know why it happened like that, but anyway, we'll come here and see this icon. Now we can change it from arrow up, right, to arrow down, just like that. That's changed, just like that. Come here again, can change this one to arrow down. That's changed. Change this one to arrow down. So you don't need to be dragging the what do you call it? You don't need to be dragging a new icon into. That's how swap instance works. You understand? Yeah, that's how swap instance works. So yeah, maybe I didn't explain you well. If you didn't get it, just text in the chat box or something. I'll go back to it again. Why am I using HSB instead of hex? Okay, so the reason why I use HSB colors instead of hex is because this is the reason why I use HSB. It is easier to manipulate the colors using HSB. If I was using hex, for example, right, if I want to change this color, I'll have to come here to change this color. I've changed it to hex. I have to come here to change this color, right? Always have to come here to change the color if I was using hex, right? Now if I'm using HSB, say this is my primary color, right? Let's say this is my primary color, this 404047, right? Let me drag this out. Wait, let me drag this down, right? This one on top is my primary color, don't forget. So let's say I want to build 3 more colors. I want to build the light mode, like the dark color I'll use for my text, white color I'll use for my text, and maybe like another accent color just from this frame 7, just from this primary color on frame 7, right? Let me use hex first, then use HSB to show you why I use HSB. So if you're here, the most you can do is come here and do this. This is okay. Let me leave this to be my white color. Then drag this one down, right? Drag this one down and say come here to fill again, navigate here and say okay, I want this to be my dark color. You know, I mean, all of this is good though. I'm not going to lie, this is perfect. But if it were me, if I was doing this normally, I would not use hex. I'll just come here, you know, come here to fill, change it to HSB, right? Now I'll just come here. Once I come here, I can see that this one is 240, 47 on the saturation, 47 on the brightness. Now, since I want to keep the same color scheme, which is 240, this is 47, which means saturation is, it has a bit of saturation and it is a bit bright. So now I want this to be my most bright color for like my text and all of that, right? So I'll say, okay, this is 240. I don't want it to have too much saturation. I want it to have very little saturation. So I'll say probably like 10. And I want it to be bright but not too bright, probably like 88. Easily, I can manipulate the colors very well, however I like, right? Instead of me coming here, dragging, you will never get it right that way. But this way I can mathematically just get my numbers right, get my colors right by just doing some math and calculating some numbers. So now 240, same hue. Maybe I want it to be a bit saturated but very dark. So I'll say I want the saturation to be 70. I want the brightness to be 5. Exactly. Or I want the brightness to be 8. So I've gotten my dark color just like that. So it is easy for you to manipulate colors with HSB over hex. Makes sense, Abby? Exactly. Makes smart sense. I'm not gonna lie. Makes sense. Yeah. No, we got that day now. We got that day. Nothing within the use knowledge do apart from sharing. No stress at all. So I hope you guys understand the hex and HSB and the swap instance, right? So now we have one button that we can make 2. So now let's do that. Let's come here. We'll say we want this arrow button, right? So we want this, what do we call the arrow button? So we'll come here, insert instance. So we'll just, let me come back to my layers panel. I want this to be inside the default, right? Where's this one? Arrow button right here. So I'll just drag that inside default. Not necessarily you have to do it that way. Let me Control Z. You can just drag it inside. You understand? You don't have to do it that way, but this is easy anyway. So now I want it to be inside this box, right? Because if you check the design we're trying to recreate, these icon buttons are inside this box. Do you understand? Like, you understand? They're inside this box. You feel me? I'm inside that box. So I want them to be inside that box as well. This one and this one. Okay, so this frame has a gap between of 8, right? Now as you can see, I have 3 items, but I want this one to go all the way to the right and I want this 2 to stay all the way on the left. How am I going to do that? I'll copy this one, I'll select this one rather than this one and put them in an auto layout. Right now I can control this box. This box is sharing between this box is shared between these 2 as 1 and this one. Make sense? Okay, so if I come here and say I want this to be space between, this one will automatically go to the far right and this one will stick on the left. So let me see what we have here. I think these buttons are on the far right. Yes, I think these buttons are on the far right, so no wala there. So I'll come here now, click on this button and I'll press Command D to duplicate. Right, I'll select the both of them and put them in an auto layout and I'll make it vertical and I'll set the space between 0, right? With whole content, right? Excuse me, let me drink some water, please. Please guys, I hope you're understanding so far, big. Yeah, so sorry, I just had to drink some water. So now what I did was I duplicated this button, I pressed Command D, it was duplicated. Let me just Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. Okay, so I pressed Command D to duplicate the button, right? I selected both of them, Shift A to create an auto layout. I changed the direction of the layout to vertical, space between 0. The fixed width is 76, that's why it's this long. I want it to be whole content. I don't want it to be longer than what the content actually is. And I come to the one down and I'll just change the icon to arrow down, just like that. That's how swap instance works. Shey, you feel me? That's what swap instance be. So if you come here now, this is in the middle, so you automatically know that all of this are in the middle. So if you come here, if you check, this is 10 pixels, has 10 pixels on top and bottom. This one has 12 pixels top and bottom because this one is 16 and this one is 20. Shey, you get. So you can see that we've been able to recreate what we have here, right? But notice that when it is in the default, these buttons don't come up. Oh. So I'll just go here, go to my design, copy this, just copy it as it is, or copy it as is, paste to replace here again, right? Because like I've been saying in my previous videos, if you want to edit your components, this is where you edit them, inside this purple frame. You can do whatever, you can do and undo anything inside here as far as components is concerned. But once you have already brought in an instance of this component and using it in another frame, there's nothing you can do. You have to always come back to this main frame to edit whatever components you edit. So it is not magic that I'm editing these components like this. That's why you have this purple box. This is where you will do all the editing you need to do, right? So this is my hover still. I'll just come here and name this hover. The reason why I copied this and paste to replace is because we've already put this inside. It's easier that way, right? So I'll just come here and change the fill to the hover fill, select color, and select this. As you can see, something happened. Let me go back. Ctrl Z. This is the default color, right? This is from Next UI, right? I did not make these colors up. The only colors I've made up so far are these colors here for this arrow button. Those are the only colors I've made up so far. I just wanted to show you guys something in relation to HSB. So this is the default color, right? This is 240, 7 on the saturation, and 16 on the brightness. Now, if I go to the hover color and I pick that hover color, right, you can see that it is the same hue, 240, but they just increase the saturation a bit to 3 and give it 10 saturation. It is the same 27 brightness. So that's how you can work very closely with color schemes using HSB. This is why you should always use HSB, honestly. Look into it. So now, that's that. So let's continue. So I want to make this hidden, like this frame here. I want to hide this because this is our default. No problems. Now that that's there, we'll just take this to the left, right? Just take that to the left right there, right? So I want to what am I trying to say? I want to give me a second, right? Yeah, I wanted to hide that, so I'll just hit that because if you check here, it is hidden in the default state. Only when you hover on it do you see it appear. And Mr. Joe always says it is after you have hovered on an element you can click. So it makes sense that this is in hover and then you can click this while it is in hover, right? So let's go back. Let me take this out and reload the page just to see the default state because we're still there. One second, please. Sorry guys, just bear with me. Okay, so we're back to our default state. So now we have built all of these, even including this. So let's build a hover and set the interaction, right? So these are our default states, right? These are our default states. This is our hovered states, right? And as you can see, give me a second, please. Yeah, so as you can see, the background is not too like present, right? Just the way we want. Let's hover on it. So let's come here and set the hover from here to here. So say when we hover, I want it to come down there, just like that, not on click, but while hovering. Okay. So now now that we've said that, what's next? Remember, we already said this one's hover. Let's come to prototype. Click here. We already said this one's hover, right? Remember. Now we've set the hover for this as well. So let's see how it would look like when we prototype it. Okay. So let's see how it would look like. Now, so let's come to assets. What do we name these buttons? Price button. So we'll just come here and say we want to click on price button and insert an instance, right? So I'll just copy that instance to Command and X, come back to design, come to my presentation frame right here, zoom out. I'll just click frame 1 and Ctrl V to paste it inside. I don't think it's inside. I'll bring it out and put it back in, right? Just like that. Now let's come to, let me go back to my layers, come to presentation frame and see how far. Okay, no worries, it happens like this all the time. Come back to Figma and say you want to reset the interaction here. Reset interactions right there. So you come back here, and as you can see, the only thing is I can't see if, okay, what I'll do is I will increase the size of the buttons first of all, but then I also cannot see if it is hovering, right? So let me just go back, right? So go back here. I'll just increase the size of these buttons here. This one is what, 8 by 8, so I'll make it 10 by 10. I'll just bring this inside to the center. I'll also make it 10 by 10. Just set it in the middle here, right? I'll do the same for this, 10 by 10. I'll make this 10 by 10 as well, right? So you can see it sits in the middle. I'll just make sure it does, just to be double sure. Come back here. It has adjusted here, trust me. See, the height is 20 now. Before it was 16, so it has adjusted. So you see it's bigger now, right? It's bigger now. But I don't think the hover is showing. You can't see the hover. When you hover on it, it's not hovering, right? It's not hovering. So let's see. Come here, select the individual element and say reset interaction. Select, go in, zoom in, go inside this one too, say what, reset interaction, right? Come back here. I think I can see the hover now, but it's not too bright, so let me just increase it. I can see the hover now, but it's not too present, so let me just increase that. So I'll come to my design, zoom out, zoom out, zoom in, come here and say I want that hover color to be present. So instead of me dragging this now, looking for what I did not lose, I'll just come here and say I want this to be 35. You understand? Because I'm still working with the same thing here. I just want it to just be a bit brighter. That's all. So I'll go back. And as you can see, it is a bit more present. Right? As you can see, it is a bit more present. Right? You can see the hover, right? Because I can see it though. So if you can see the hover, just let me know. But as you can see, the hover is a bit more present, right? Yeah, how about right now, Shirley? Can you see right now? Is it present now? Yeah, it's present now, exactly. So, yeah. So these are the little changes, right, we had to make now. So now that we've made these changes, let's continue to the next step. So what's the next step now? Next step is, now that you've hovered, when you now click on the top, it goes to 1 and there's a blinking cursor, right? It goes to 1 and there's a blinking cursor. If you notice, it is not the 1 and the 2 is not sliding up. Daniel, if you're here, Toke, Sisi, if you guys are here watching, or if you watch later, when we built this the other day, the way we did it, if you click on this, it kind of, the number kind of swipes up, it swipes to the top, right? Like the way we have the way we have that tab component that slides, it kind of was sliding, right? It was giving you some smart animations, right? But here it's changing. It's not actually sliding. It's changing from 0 to 1, from 0 to 1, from that to that, from that to that. So first thing we notice, when you click on the top, it goes to 1 directly. And when you click on the bottom, it goes to 0. It never goes back to the default. So let's implement that. All right, let's implement that. So I will just come here and say I want another variant first of all. Right now I have that. So I want this variant to look like this. Right, I want this variant to look like this because I want to start implementing the clicking interaction. So this from the hover, I will get a click, right? So as you can see, when you hover and you click, it changes to a default mode. Right, it changes to this, but you can also hover on this, right? You can also hover on this. So let's take note of that. So the same, it applies to all of them. You can also hover on this. So when you click on 0 0, when you click on the initial state and you come up, it goes to 1, right? And the blinking cursor. So let's do that real quick. Sorry, before we go to 1, let's do 0. Let's just do 0 because there's 0 when you click beneath from 1, it comes to 0. So let's start from 0. So come here and say, let's look at this. Okay, so come here, just come here, say I want this to be 0, just like that. Now the color is bright like this, right? Color is bright like this. And you can see that in this state, this one is always on, like these buttons are visible, right? So we'll just come here. Wait, hold on. Okay, they are not visible only when you hover. Wait, okay, hold on. When it is blinking, right? When the cursor is blinking, these buttons are visible. But if you click out, right? When you click out, the buttons become invisible, right? Okay, so let's take notes. So first of all, let me reload this page to get that default state again. Guys, I know it might sound complicated, but these are just the little things we have to, like, you know, understand before we can build it exactly how it is, right? Okay, so when we hover on it, it hovers. While it is hovering, we can click on the top one, it goes to 1. And if we hover out, it's still there. If we hover in, it doesn't hover while it's blinking. If we click on it to stop the blinking, once we stop the blinking, it stops. Like once we stop the blinking, these buttons become invisible again, and then there's a hover state again, right? So let's do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the default state of this 0 without a blinking cursor and without these icons first, which is this. So we're going to name this 0 default, right? 0 default. We'll create another variant again, right? What I did was I just clicked on this 0 default and press plus because I want it to look like this. I don't want it to be this one, then I edit it again. I've already edited this one, so I'll start from here. Makes sense. So I'll come here to the variant 4, or let me just name it to 0 clicked on, right? I'll come to 0 clicked on, and I will say I want the, okay, you know what? Let me change this to 0 hover, right? 0 hover, right? So I'll come to 0 hover, and I want the, not this one, I want this frame to be visible on the hover. Okay, so no problems, just come here to fill container like that to auto space between, right? So just leave that there. This is what 0 hover, Now we'll give it the hover color as well. So come here, click on this, and just select this, right? Now, remember, this 0 is bright, like really white, you know, like the colors of this button. So we'll just come here and copy that ECE color, which is the brightest color, and come here, select it here, paste it, right? Same for here, paste it too, right? So now this is the hover. So now let's create the blinking states. So press plus again. Now in the blinking state, this one too is also visible. That this arrow keys are also visible. So we'll just make sure this one is visible here, and we'll come here, no problems, just put that there, and we'll say we want to 0 and give it that bright color, sorry, right? Now we want that cursor to come in, so let's press P on our keyboard for the pen tool, click here, click on canvas, hold shift for a straight line and click there, come here, click on done, command X to copy, come here, command V. Is it inside the frame? I think it's inside the frame. Yeah, so I'll give the absolute position. Now this 0 has a height of 14, right? So I'll just come here to this vector and give it a height of 14, right? And I'll use my arrow keys to just move it inside the frame, make sure it is centered like this, then just drag it. Let me see where the cursor was blinking from in the main design. Okay, when you click on it, the cursor starts to blink again on the right side. Let me go to 0 and see where it is blinking from on the right side. So come here. So just move that to the right side like that. Zoom in. I don't want it to be too far. Come to that vector. Where is it? Right here. Zoom in. Or zoom out a bit. Yeah, so here's calm. Here's calm. So I want the centers to be, I want the edges to be round. I want it to be 1 pixel, and I want it to have that white color as well. So okay, so I'll just come here. I'll copy the white color from here. This is this one. Come to the vector, and I'll paste that white color there. So this one will be, let me see if it is aligned to the center. Okay, it is. So I will name this one 0 clicked on. 0 clicked on, right? Then I would also give this a variant and say I want this one to be 0 clicked off, right? If you understand how the blinking cursor works, you should understand why I'm building this way. You understand? So initially I used to hide this, but I don't feel too good hiding it anymore, so I'll just give it the full color of the background. You understand? So it's invisible. I don't know why I'm doing that. You don't have to do it like me. You can hide yours, but I'd rather just do it this way. I don't know. I just feel better doing it this way. I feel like I can sleep at night. Lol. Okay, so in the default state, you can see the borders of the icon. So yeah, we're on the right track. So now let's set that interaction right there. So now this is our hovered state, right? When we click on let me see something. You come here and click down, it goes to -1. Okay, let's say when you click yikes. Okay, you know what, let me just create 1 again. Like before we set the interaction, let me create number 1. All right, so we'll do this, click on plus, come here, write number 1, right? We'll name this 1 default. Come here, the second one, or you know what, just come here, press plus, we'll name this 1 hover, right? Then press plus again. But before we continue, let's edit the hover to make it look like the hover button. So make this visible. No, not that, sorry. Come inside here. Auto space between right there. Then we'll give this the hover color as well. So come here to fill. Just give it the hover color. Please, are you guys understanding so far? Are you guys understanding so far? Is it making sense so far? Please leave a reaction or something. Just let me know. So this is the hover for one. Now we want this to be one clicked on, right? So I'll just call this what? One clicked on, not done, on. Clicked on, like that, right? So I will make those arrow keys visible here, right? Come into this frame, set it to auto space between, right? Then what do I want to do? I want to give this the blinking a cursor, right? So I'll come here, I'll just copy that vector, which is in absolute position. I'll just copy it there, come here to my number one clicked on, and Ctrl V to paste, right? And if you zoom in, you can see that it maintains the same position, in fact, as this, but I want it to be closer to that number one, obviously, than it is to 0. So I'll just use my arrow keys to move that closer to 1. Just give give it breathing space like that. So come here again and give this a variant and say I want this one to be 1 clicked off, right? Then I'll come to that 1 clicked off, click on the vector and give the vector the stroke color. I want it to be the background color of the frame, right? So it to be hidden, right? Basically. So now let's start with the interactions, right? So this is what clicked off, innit? Clicked off, bet. Now from here, when I click on this top one here, this one, I'll come to prototype, right? I want the interaction to, on click, I want it to change to not hover. I want it to change to number 1 default. When I click up here on 000, right? When I click up here, right? When I click on this, I want it to change to number 1, not instant. Smart animate, ease out 300 milliseconds, easy, right? Then from number 1, okay, hold on. First of all, let's reload the page again. This one is a bit technical because you can't go back to default like when you start, so we have to like keep reloading the page to, you know, kind of understand what's up. The numbering has to be created manually, bro. Emeka, the numbering has to be, there's no automatic way to create the numbering. You have to do it manually. The prototype makes it feel like it is automatic, but you have to do it manually, basically. Like that's what prototype is, doing it manually. So like when you are running the prototype or presenting the prototype, it looks like it's automatic, right? That's basically what it is. So we can see that when you click 1, if you click 1, it doesn't go to default, it starts blinking once you click on top. So let's go back to our prototype again. So from here, we don't want it to go to 1 default. We want it to go to 1 clicked on, right? 1 clicked on, that's what we want it to go to. So we'll come down now to 1 clicked on and say, okay, let's not even set let's take out this hover first. We don't want any hover here. So now let's set that blinking interaction, right? Because when you click on that top one, it will come down here to this one blinking. So we'll say we want this to come down, right? So after a while, we don't want to see this after a while. Like we want it to, after a while, we don't see this. Then from here, after a while, we want to see this again. That makes sense. So after delay, from here, we go to the invisible state, and back from the invisible state, we go back to the visible state of the cursor, right? So we'll give this 300 milliseconds, right? And make this instant, right? So now from one clicked on, after a delay of 300 milliseconds, it changes to one clicked off. One clicked off as well will do the same thing. Sorry. Set it up. So after a delay of 300 milliseconds, it wants to change to one clicked on, right? After a delay of 300 milliseconds. Now let's see where that default state comes in. When you now click out of the blinking cursor, when it stops to blink, it goes back to default. So let's set that. So I'll come here and I'll set it to one default right there. On click, I want it to go to one default, not on instant. Smart animate 300 milliseconds, ease out, like that. Here as well. On click, I want it to go to one default, smart animate easily. Then on that one default, I'll set the hover now, because there's no hover here. This one is the hover we copied from the first interaction that we did. So we'll just bring it down to this hover here. And see, when you hover on that one default, it will come down to one hover on hover while hovering, right? Just like that. Just like that. Now let's go and check it out. All right, so if you click on top, you can see number one is blinking, and when you tap it out, it goes back to number one default. And when you hover on it, okay, let's go and change that. Oh, we've already changed it though. Like, we actually changed it. We've changed it, but let's just reset interaction. Let's reset interaction here. Design. Let's reset interaction here. Oh, we can't. Okay, no stress. Let me just see what's up. Prototype. Hover. Okay. Let me check something. No, this does not hover anywhere, and that's what the problem is from. Okay, let's go back. So you see, when you hover on that one, it stays there. Let me restart it again. So right, when you hover on it, you see these buttons. We can hover on them now. We can see the hover interactions. So if I click on up, it goes to one and it starts blinking, right? If I click on that one now, it stops blinking and we can see it. It's there. Click on it, we'll see the hover, right? Makes sense? Doesn't make sense? Doesn't make sense? Doesn't make sense? Figma has a variable option that allows automated numbering when I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one, Sha. Honestly, I don't know about that. Like, I have done this type of thing before, a lot of times before, and every time I checked YouTube, it was always manually. I won't lie. Maybe there's a way to do it like that. I don't know. I will check on it definitely. But as per right now, this is the way I know. I'm sure you understand. This is the way I know. I will definitely look into it. As soon as I end the stream, I will. But if you guys are understanding so far, like, can you let me know if it's making sense? Thank you guys for the likes. I really appreciate it. If it's making sense, guys, can you just let me know in the chat box? Okay. Okay. In the absence of any comments, we'll still just proceed, right? Still just proceed. So, okay, we'll just proceed. Honestly, I don't know about the Figma variable that allows numbering. Like this, I don't know. Like, if we're talking prototype, I would rather use Protopy than use Figma anyway, if we're being honest. But since we're working with Figma, you know, this is what we have to do. And like they always say, no be one way they go market. Like, there are different ways to do one thing. So it's a possibility that there are other ways to do this, but as far as I know, this is one of the ways you can do things, right? On Figma at least. With stressful prototypes that don't require this much effort, honestly, if you ask me. But anyway, let's continue. So now that we are here, we want to be able to click down and go to 0, right? So let's set that here. So on this hover state, right? And also for all these states too, when we click on this bottom button, we'll set the interaction here. On click, we want it to change to 0 clicked on, right? Same for this. Let me just zoom in, select the one beneath, and say when I click on it, I want it to change to 0 clicked on as well, right? Not on instant, sorry, I want it to be smart animate, is out here, and this one as well. I'll just click on that line there. I want it to be smart animate, all right? And I'll do the same for here. And do the same for here. 0 clicked on, right? 0 clicked on. So I'll cancel that out. Zoom out, come back to 0 clicked on. Now let's set the interactions for here. Let's take out the hover. We don't want it to hover in this state. We'll bring it down and say after delay, we want it to come down, like without the cursor now. When the cursor is in, like, not visible. 300 milliseconds. 300 milliseconds. I want it to be instance. Right? So here as well, want to set an after delay that goes up. Not on click, after delay, 300 milliseconds on instance, right? Now when you click on this as well, you want it to go to default, 0 defaults. So when you click here, you want it to go to where 0 defaults right there. On click, go to 0 default, smart animate, right? So here as well, on click, you want it to go to where 0 default as well, smart animate, right? Now when you come here, take out the hover here, there should be no hover on the hover state. When you also click on the top button here, you want it to go to 1 clicked on, right? So let's also set that plus on click, change to 1 clicked on right there, not instant, sorry. Let's change that to smart animate, 300 milliseconds, that's fine. When you click here as well, when it is blinking, you still want to be able to click on it because these buttons are visible. It makes sense that these buttons are visible because you can always click on, like, it makes sense that these buttons are visible when the cursor is blinking so that you can always change the numbers if you want to while the cursor is blinking, right? So we'll just do that. On click, change to 1 clicked on, right? Here as well. On click, change to 1 clicked on, right? Not instant, smart animate. Come here, change this to smart animate. Okay. So let's see how far. So now that we have one, let's come down, let's click down. So you see, okay, something went wrong here, not here. Something happened. There should be no hover here. This is what? This is 0 clicked off. Okay, 0 clicked off should actually click back to default. Okay. Alright. Let's do that again. So this is 0, right? Blinking 0. Let's blink out. Okay. On the 0 default, it hovers to, shouldn't hover there. Let's do that. This is what? 0 default. Let's take out the hover. The hover should come down to 0 hover. Okay. Just like that. Not on click while hovering. Yeah. Just like that. Let's check it again. So yeah, 0 hovers to 0 hover now. So if we go up, we go to 1, blinking, right? If we tap on it, stops blinking, takes us to 1 hover. And if we click down, takes us to 0. So 0 stops blinking, click back on it, takes us to 0 default, hover on it, 0 hover, we go up, we're on 1, right? Click out, 1 default. Click down, 0 starts to blink. If we change it while it is blinking, it still change it down now while it's blinking, it still changes. Then we can stop it, right? Do you understand so far? Do you guys understand it so far? Yeah, surely. It's not that deep. Don't worry. If you don't understand it now, you can definitely rewatch it and understand it again. For sure. You can definitely rewatch it and understand it again for sure. Okay. So that's how you can get this one, right? That's how you can get this one. So now let's do this one and this one. So let's just do that real quick. We'll just drag this out, come to design, and name it price button. Just name it price button 2. Right? The reason why I dragged it out was I wanted to keep the interactions. That's all. So I'll just come here. What's the default state of this one? $sign is all the way here, then the text is all the way here. Then where's the, hold on, where's the arrow keys? Okay, the arrow keys is just before the $sign. Okay, let's see. First of all, let's make the arrow keys visible, right? Then I want to take out, so I want to bring, if you open this frame now, you see there's a $sign and 0, right? I want the $sign and this to be in one frame and the 0 to be outside the frame. So what I'll do is I'll come to this 0 now. I'll just drag it outside. Like I can do like this, bring it here, right? Or Command Z, I can just drag it like this. Just bring it outside the frame like that, right? Then I'll put this one and this one. Okay, if you notice, there's already a frame here, right? This frame 4, it's frame 4, right? So I'll just bring this one inside frame 4 instead of putting it in another frame again. Let's bring it inside frame 4, right? So as you can see, so this is frame 4 now. So I'll give frame 4 already has 8. Now come back, I'll check it. Okay, the arrow keys are on the right, the logo, the symbol is, the arrow keys are on the left, the symbol is on the right. So the arrow keys on the left, symbol is on the right, like that. I'll bring this to the right side and I'll say I want this one to have even space between. So you can see these two on their own, this one is on its own. Now this is what I want. So I'll just copy this now, right? Copy this one inside this one. I'll just press Command C, come here, paste to replace here. just like that. So I'll press, right, I'll select this, then press shift and command, then select this as well, select this as well, select this as well. I'll scroll up, shift command again. I'll hold shift and command down, select this, select this, select this, select this. So I'll double tap and say I want to paste to replace, right? So now I have this, right? Don't worry about all this, don't worry about those ones, don't worry. So now I have this, right? So let's see, our interactions are still intact. All the interactions are still intact. If you click here, you see all the interactions are still intact. You don't have to do any interaction again. You just have to carefully edit it and continue. We don't even have to rename anything again, nothing. Everything is named, right? So the one where we have 0, 1 default, we'll just be putting the zeros and ones there, right? Okay, no voila. So let's see, we'll just use this one as a blueprint. So now here we have 0. So we'll just come here. I say we want this to be 0, right? So we'll come and copy this. Okay, we have the white color inside here even. Just copy that white color here. Select this and give it to it. Paste. So now this one is what? Sorry, 0 default. Here is also what? 0 default. So we'll just leave that there. This one will be 0 hover. So I already know what to do. Just come here. All right. Change the color here. Come here. This frame 4, which is the, and open frame 4. Click on frame 5 and hide it, because we want to hide this button in this state, right? In this 0 default state, right? I want to hide that button. Then here, this is the 0 hover state. The button will be visible again. Then this will now be the 0 clicked on state, right? 0 clicked on state. So just delete those zeros like that. Change the color to white. Click on that frame. Click on the vector. Let's see where the cursor is blinking from here. So if we say go to 1, come to 0, the cursor is blinking on the right. So just move that cursor, zoom in. Just bring that cursor to the right side of 0. Just like that, right? I'll just copy this one, copy this here, come here, click on this, paste to replace. Give me a second. Okay, so I'll just bring this here. You know what happened? I thought I copied this vector, but the vector is not inside this frame. The vector is not inside this frame. The vector is inside the main frame. This 0 clicked on. So I was looking for the vector when I copied this and pasted it here. I couldn't find it, but it's because the vector is inside this main frame. You can see here vector 3. It's not inside here. Yeah, it's not inside here. So that's what happened there. So anyway, so this is 0 watts, 0 clicked. Let me see. Sorry, not that here. So this is yeah, 0 clicked off, right? So this one is what? 1 default. So I'll just copy this 0 default here. I'll just copy this this particular, what do you call it, this particular frame, and come down here. I'll just come here and I'll just come and show and say I want to paste to replace here. Let me see if this is one default. Just give me a second. Okay, this is 0 clicked off. This is one default, right? So I'll just come here and then click this. Say I want to paste to replace, right? So this is just change this to 1, right? Then I'll come here, change this as well, paste it to replace, change this to 1, but I want those arrow keys to be visible here, right? So I'll just make it visible here. Then what's this? This is 1 clicked on. So come back here, paste to replace again, right? I'll name this 1. Just click on it and change it to 1 there. Just call it 1, right? Then I want those arrow keys to be visible here as well. So I'll just come to frame 4 here. So I want this to be visible. I'll just copy this, come here, paste it to replace here, right? Come here, click on that vector, take it to the right side of the frame, zoom in. I want it to have some space between itself and that 1 right there. So there's okay. Come here. I just want to align the vector in this frame. To that number 1 over there. Right, so it's aligned. So I'll just leave that like that. Then the interactions are already set, right? The interactions are already set. So I'll just bring in an instance of this now and see how it actually works, right? So that's price button 2. Just click on the source instance. Just bring that here and bring this here. Right. So I would reset interactions here, then check how it is. So hold on. The default mode, I didn't know I did that. Give me a second. So in the default mode, I'm supposed to take out this what do you call it? It's supposed to hide this. Just come and hide it. So yeah. This is not what I want to. No, that's not. That's crazy. That's not what I want at all. So I'll just come here and ungroup it. I'll just say I want to ungroup. So I'll just say this and this. No, hold on. This and this. Shift A. 8. Whole content. Yep, just like that. So I'll copy this here, come here, paste to replace, right? Open it, come to frame 5, just do that. So let's see. No, let me restart that. Hey, yo. I don't want this, man. No. I don't want this at all. Yikes. the only thing now that's stressing me out here is that if I do the way I want to do it, I'll have to set all the interactions again. But no problem. Let me see how I can do it without resetting the interaction. I just don't like the way this is coming out from the left. Do you understand? So what I'm going to do is I'll just build everything. Like I'm going to build this particular frame again and reinsert it in this price button too, right? So what I'm going to do is I would just copy this, Shift and Alt, bring it up, copy this, right? Shift and Alt to bring it up, right? Select the both of them, just drag that out a bit, right? Go here, components from the where are we? We're in input tab. Input here. I can't tell from here, sorry. Go away. Come to assets. I want arrow buttons right here. Right, insert instance. So I want this, and then I want another one. Right, or you know what? Instead of doing all that, let me just take this. All right, I'll just select this too. I'll just hold command, delete, select this, put them in auto layout, Shift A, Command Z, okay, put them in auto layout, Shift A, sorry, Command Z, Shift A, 8, right, then Shift A as well. What's the width? 182. So come here, give it 182. Yeah, then 1010 top and bottom. So make it 40. So I'm just going to say this is I just say this is button 2, right? So I'll cut that, Command X, bring that here. Sorry. Bring that here, paste to replace. Paste to replace here as well. Right. So here, come here. Come to my layers here. And inside that button 2, I want this frame 7. Inside frame 7, I want that frame 5 right there. I want it to be hidden. So now let's see, if you hover on this, come down, right? Let's check prototype, come down, right? So let's see if our changes have been implemented. It still cannot be like that, so don't whine me. Do not whine me. I will go crazy. What is this? No, this is not what I want. What's going on? I went to the beginning of the video because I just joined, but it didn't start from where you did the arrow interaction. LOL. Omo, Rabiat, you probably have to take your time and rewatch it. Honestly, you probably have to take your time and rewatch it. I'm dealing with a problem right now. Like the way this is interacting, I don't like it. I don't like the way this is popping out. I want it to just change, like this one is changed. Like I just want it to change like this. Hold on. Okay, let's try another way. No qualms at all. Let's try that way. So come here, right? Come here. And let's make this visible, right? So what I'll do is, see this auto layout, I'll dissolve it. I'll just come and ungroup it. I'll just come and ungroup it here. Ungroup. So I've dissolved it like that. So I'll make this one just stay where it is. I won't even shift it. I'll just work with this. So I'll put this to an auto layout of their own. Then I would say I want it to fill container. Right? I want this container to have 8 pixels of space. So I have just 8 pixels of space, so you can see that there. So let me just copy that. I'll just copy that there. So I would paste to replace that here. Paste to replace that here. Come here and hide that frame 5 right there. So hold on. Where is it? Wait, before I hide it, I want to make this fixed width because I don't want it to shrink. I'll just make this fixed width, right? And I'll make this fixed width too. So I'll just come here. Select this, right? And hide it. Okay. So I want this to be on the left, right? Wait, it should be on the left, like, for real. Anyway, let's go to the left. Cool. So let's see. See? Yeah, this is exactly what I want. Exactly what I want. So yeah, I'm happy now. I can smile. This is exactly what I want. So now that we have this, let's continue with the other interactions. Let's continue with the other interactions. So sometimes, like, the way some prototype will interact is because of the way you build them. Like, the build up process matters, like when you are working with components, especially in Figma. I don't know why, but the way you build it matters when it is interacting. Like when you eventually start to present it, the way it moves and all depends on how you built it, right? So yeah, this is not bad. So let's continue. When we click on the top here, we want it to go, when we click on the top, we want it to go to 1 and all of that and all of that, right? So let's just copy this. Let's copy this here and paste it here. Paste it to replace. Edit this a little bit. Edit this to 0. Yeah, so we still want this one to fill container. And we'll make this invisible. Then we'll sorry, before we make that invisible, let's copy it first. Let's copy this. Come here, paste it to replace. Let's give this that white color. So let's copy the white color from here. And let's come here. Just make it white there. Okay, it didn't apply. So just make it white, right? So we'll just copy that, right? Paste to replace. Right? So now we'll come and hide this. And just hide this one here. Right? Because this one is what? This is 0 default. This is 0 hover, right? Now, obviously, we know that this button is going to be like visible in the hover state, right? So now this is what this is 0 clicked on. We have to change this to the one we rebuilt. Paste to replace there. Paste to replace here as well. Paste to replace here as well. So now let's check the interactions. The interactions would have changed because we rebuilt some things, right? So I didn't want to like re-prototype it, but we have to now because we reviewed some things. So this one will hover here for sure. So now when we are here, we want to be able to click, right? Let's zoom in. So I want to be able to click. So I'll come here and say when I click on this, we wouldn't have done this if you're with me like the past 15 minutes. This hover states I had to rebuild this frame here so I could get it to hover like this. It was coming from the left and I didn't like that, you know. So that's why we have to redo all of this, because we've already like re-edited all the things that have been initially prototyped, right? So on click, we want it to change to we're going up. So one clicked on, not instant smart animate, right? Let's zoom out there. So let's go to one now. One clicked on right here. We want after delay to come. Okay, there's after delay here that comes down. There's also after delay here that goes up. Okay, so when we click on this, we want it to go to one default. When we click on this, we want it to go to one default. This is already set as well. Okay, so now these buttons, when it is blinking, we also want it to go back to 0. So from here, let's set it plus. So on click, we want it to change to 0 clicked on, just like that. Smart animate. Yep. Here as well. On click, we want it to change to 0 clicked on, smart animate as well. Right here as well, which is the one hover. On click, we also want it to change to 0 clicked on, change to 0 clicked on, right? So these will go back to 0 clicked on. Let's go to 0 clicked on now. This one has an after delay that comes down. This one also has an after delay that goes up. Then click back to 0 default, click back to 0 default for the buttons. Okay, so let's set this one to 1 clicked on, right? So we'll just set this one. So yeah, on click, I want this to give me a second, guys. I lost my train of thoughts. So wait, hold on. I don't even know where I am anymore. I want it to go to 1 from here. So I want it to go to 1 from here, right? So on click, I want it to go to, I want to change to 1 clicked on from here, right? Here as well, I want it to go to 1 clicked on as well. Change to 1 clicked on as well. Here, I also want this to change to 1 clicked on as well. No, while hovering, sorry. On click, I want it to go to 1 clicked on. Not in sound smart animate. Let me check here. Here as well. Smart animates. Okay, so let's see how it is. Let's check the prototype, see how it is. So if I click, it goes up to 1. From 1, if I click down, it goes back to 0. If I click on it, it stops, hovers. If I go up, it goes to 1. If I click on it, it stops and it hovers. Okay, so this should not... I changed this now, if I'm not mistaken. So the hover state for 1 is still bouncing. Like a bouncy castle. Like a bouncy castle. Let's see. Let me take it to 0 and see what's up. Okay. So I know what to do. So I'll come to 0 here. Come to 0 right here. Copy this. Come to design. Come to 1. Paste to replace. Paste to replace. Right. So I'll just name this 1. Name this one as 1. And I'll make this invisible. Right. Okay, so now I also have to reset those interactions now. Now this, if you click on this, it's supposed to go to... This should never have a click anyway. Just take out the interaction. So when you click down, it should go to... When you click down, it should go to... 0 clicked on. Right, so let's check it again. Let's go to 1. All right, just click on it. Yeah, so it's hovering the way we want. So we'll click back down to 0. Yeah, so that's it, guys. As you can see, we have those interactions working properly. Any questions before we move on to the next one? Any questions before we move on to the next? Any questions, guys? Any questions? If you have questions, ask, please. If you are lost, ask. Now, who they ask questions, do they miss road though? If you don't know, ask. Ask. Anything, ask. Just ask. I'll just give you guys a minute to, come up with any questions, and ask. But I want you guys to ask questions, I beg. If there's anything you're not understanding, just ask. I'm still waiting. You guys understand so far? Should we continue? What are you guys saying? What are you guys saying? Totally lost. Haha, crazy. Well, honestly, I understand you because this is how I feel in Mr. Joe's class sometimes. I just feel so lost. Sometimes I don't understand what he's teaching. I have to literally go back and then reassess the teachings. I'm like, oh, okay. I get it. So I can totally understand. Trust me. I can totally understand. But regardless, I should continue to the next price. Yeah, the third one. Okay. So this one now. Oh, that's true. We have all of this serene here. All these ones. I bet. Okay, you know what, guys? I'm going to just put my stream on mute. I want to go grab water and just refresh. Yeah, so you guys should use this 10 minutes to just cool off. I'm not going to end the stream. I'm just going to go get some water and come back, right? So we can also use this time to just drink some water and all of that. So I just want to go get some water. So when we come back, we're going to talk about this one, right? All these ones here, all these ones, right? These ones. So yeah, we're going to talk about these. So yeah, I'm going to mute my mic now. Back in 5 to 10 minutes, right? So see you guys in a bit. Wagwan guys, wagwan guys, back. I hope you guys have been able to drink some water, digest some of the information so far. Uh, Let me text the guys in the group and tell them I'm back. Well, no, I won't just text the guys for the group so I don't come back. You don't sip some NSC, I believe you now. Everywhere good now. Be like say for this boot campaign, are you the flex pass? Are you the flex pass? Oh, I went to drink some water, bro. I gotta paste the link again. Shegun, now you the flex pass for this boot camp, I swear. Now you always now you tell Mr. Joseph make you go to drink anything now. I'm dead. I beg go. Guys, thank you so much for subscribing. If you have not subscribed, I beg, can you subscribe to my channel, please? Thank you. It goes a long way. I beg. Thank you guys. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like this stream. Please. Thank you so much, guys. It really goes a long way. Okay, so I just sent the link back to the group and we'll just continue, right? We'll just continue. Okay. I don't think Mr. Brendan drinks alcohol. If I'm being honest, I don't think he drinks alcohol because if you even read his tweets, like he doesn't drink alcohol. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, because I don't know him personally, of course. But I would, if you were to ask me, I would say I don't think he drinks alcohol. That's just me, Sha. Okay, so right now we're at this point. We're trying to create this. Right? We're trying to create this. Right? So I took some time to look at this element before. I have not built this before. Like, nah, so just did right now. I just want to build them. You feel me? So I took some time to look at this while I was away drinking some water. And I got to understand something. You see this element that you click on that now has a drop down or drop up or whatever you want to call it. It is an independent element on its own. This is an independent component on its own that has an overlay. When you click on it, an overlay comes on with all of these buttons, text links or text buttons, and you can click on them and they switch. So these are these ones, right? All of this is one component that is now added to this big frame. So this one they go on your own, this one side they go on your own, right? So let's start by building this one first. So I think it was on USD before, right? So let's start by building that. Let me use CSS paper to determine the size of this frame and the color here and this blue and all of that and all of that. So let's just come to CSS paper here. He doesn't drink alcohol from his tweets. Yeah. Give me a second. I was trying to run CSS paper. Okay. So let's see. I can't even check. Why now? Oops. Okay. Wow. You know what? We're just going to go with the flow here. But let me just shift command 4. Let me just okay, shift command 3. Right. So I'll come here, right? So go to design. And I'll say I want to build those buttons now, like this button on the drop down, right? So this text size is definitely the same as this, it's just in caps, right? So I'll come here, I'll say, okay, what's the text size here? This is 14 by 20. So I'll press T on my keyboard and click on my canvas and say, I want the text to be USD, just like that. So as you can see, it's already on 14 by 20. So I'll leave that there. I'll come to my icons. I want to open huge icons so that I can bring in an arrow icon, right? But instead of a filled one, a stroke. Just waiting for this app to load. Give me a second. So I'll say arrow. Let me check again to be sure. Yeah, that one right there. Have I passed it? No, I just want the regular stroke here. Okay, this one. Oh, keys. So how many pixels would this be then? Let me see, what's the size of this? This is 40. This can't be 40 pixels. So 20 pixels. Okay, this is 20 pixels. Okay, so this icon should be what, this icon should be 20 pixels, right? So I'll just come here and say I want this icon to be 20 pixels, right? Maybe 18 pixels, say 18 pixels, right? So select this, do this. What I really want to do is these small icons. Let me check the size here. I use 18 here. Okay, I'll just use 18. I'll use 18 here as well. Okay, so I don't think this has put it in the middle, and I don't think there's any space between, so I'll just put it to 0 right there. Come back, see that. See, I don't think there's any space between, so I'll leave that to 0. Then this has a color. This color is the same as this dollar symbol color, right? So I'll just come here, copy this dollar symbol, right? The color, I'll just copy the color right there, right? Copy it, come to this frame 9, and I'll just paste the color A down. Come here, copy it here, come here, paste here, paste here, right? So we have that color now. So I'll say I want to call this currency button, right? I want to call this currency button, right? Now this would be a component. Let me see something. Okay, so if you click on this, see this. Okay, okay, so USD, right? Now let's see, this is trying to get the width of this. Wow, 50 by 19, and it's in the middle. Okay, so this is 48, so just say fixed width, we want this to be what, 50, right? Put everything in the middle by 20, no voila. So now we'll just say we want to build this one now, right? This one, we want to build this one, right? So let's not make it a component yet and all of that. Let's just wait, right? But you know what, let's make it a component right now. Let's see. Okay, so let's make it a component, right? It's a component like this. Now let's give it a variant, right? Now that variant, I want that variant to be these ones here. Sure, you get these ones here. I'm just trying to think of how to work this. Just give me a second. All right, I'm trying to think of how to work this. Just give me a second. Just like we created the select components now. Do you guys remember? Just like we created the select components, right? That's how we're going to do this. Just as we created the select components, really. Okay, so let's continue. So we have this, right? Now there's no hover on this, but when I click on this, there's a button, right? So you know what, let me just Ctrl Z. I don't want to make that a component yet, right? So I'll just bring this here for now. Then I would click on T text and say I want to write USD. Let me come here. So USD, ARS, and EUR, right? So drag this down. ARS, drag this down. Call this EUR, right? Now, as you can see here, this has a very long width, right? And there's also an icon on it, so meaning that this one has two states. It has the selected states. So first, this has three states. It has a selected state, like a it's a selected state, an unselected state, and it also has hover. So that's three states, right? So let's bring in that icon. Let's go to icon, page icons. So we're looking for a check icon or a tick icon. I'm installing this column. Let's pick this. Close out of this. Select that tick. Bring it here. I want the icons to be 18 by 18. Yeah, okay. I think it's that big. So I'll bring this here, right? And I would say I want to put this to an auto layout, right? Then I will make the space between 4. Let me go back to C. I'll make the space between 4, yeah, just like that. Then I will bring this up here. This one I want to make a component right away because I already know what I want to do with this. So I'll say components, give a variant. But before I give a variant, let me command Z. Let me change the colors and everything. So here, okay. So when you hover on the cell, wait, first of all, it is black, right? First of all, it is black. So let me go back here. And I want, let me just change Or let me just zoom in so you can see very clearly. Let me zoom in. I want the colors to be black, not black, but like, let me say 240, because we know the hue is 240. Give this 10, saturation of 10, and say we want this to be 10 as well. Okay, let's say 8 or 6. 6 is cool. So we'll just copy this one, give it to this one. Right, I know it's dark, you might not see it, but let's just work with it right now. Or let me just increase the color brightness on my canvas just for this one. We'll bring it back later. Okay, so now we have this. We'll just call this one currency. Just call this one currency, right? So I'll give this a variant now. Right, so I'll call this one selected, right? Call this one selected. I'll call this one sorry, before I call that one selected, before I give it a variant, rather, I want to edit the sizing and all that first of all. So if you check, you can see that this probably has like this probably has 8 pixels on the left but more pixels on the right, like 8 pixels of padding on the left but more pixels on the right, if that makes sense. If that makes sense, like, let me explain what I'm trying to say. So let me go on this frame, right? This frame 9 right here, right? So you can see that, not this one between though, like if you hover on it, if you hover on this, you can see that there's space between this icon to the end of the frame, then there's also space between USD to the end of the frame, right? So let's see some. So say we want this to have 4 on the left and let me say 12 on the right. 4 on the left and 12 on the right. So this is what, 68 pixels, right? 68 pixels. I want more. So I want this to be 16 on the right and 8 on the left. That's 76. I want this to be 4 on the left. 72. Okay, that's perfect for me. 72 is calm. Okay, so this is exactly how I want it, right? Then I'll now make it add the variant. So now in this variant, I'll name this variant hover, selected hover, just like this, right? Put this to the middle here. Bring this, put this to the middle as well, right? So I'll name this one selected, right? Not selected hover, selected, right? Now I want to give this a fill of blue, that blue fill. So let me just bring the image. Oh, do I need to do that? Come on. Can't see that blue color on God. Okay, hold on. Let me use this. One more. It's hard. Let me just bring in the color. Don't worry. I have screenshotted it already. So I'll just say I want to place image right here. My desktop. The last image. This one. Right. Bring it in. Just put that there. So right. I'll come here. way. Control Z. Okay, hold this. Bring this out. Okay. So I'm trying to get this the color here. So I'll just zoom in, zoom in. So I'll just select that there. Okay. No, let me just copy that. That's not what I want. Just copy that. Go to fill, paste that there. Go inside. Click on this as well. I want to give these the white color because, like, you know, there's a white color here. So I'll copy that white color here, the one we always use. That's like the most bright color here. So I'll just copy that ECEDEE. Zoom in. Come here. Select the icon. Change the color. Right. Select this. Change the color as well. Right. So now we have that. Let's check again to see. Or since we already have the screenshots, rather, let's just check that to see. Okay. Yeah, now we have the inactive state as well. So if you notice, everything is in the middle. Like even after what do you call it? Even when the icon is not present, it's still, it doesn't change. So I just want this to be fixed to it so it doesn't change. I want this to fill container, no, fixed to it. But before that, let me check this. What is the width of this? 27, 28, and this is what, 30. So this is even the largest. So I can't. So I'm just say I want this to be fixed, right? 30, fixed, 72. So let's come here and I'll just hide this. Command Z, right? I want this to be fixed. I want this to be fixed. Yikes, 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 yikes. How do I do this? Okay, if I take this out, if I hide it. Okay. Let me see. What's the space from here to the end? 26. Okay. From here now to the end is what? 4. 4 minus 26 is 12. So I'll just say I want it to be 16 on the left, just like that. No, 16. Okay, 26. Not that. Sorry, here. 26. Right there. Right there. So this one will be, let me check this. Okay. Let me reset that. I'm trying to see something. Sixteen, 26. Okay, I think I should give this 26 on the right to 26. 26. Sorry, come on Z. Come on Z. 26. So this will just what fill container. Z for content now. For content rather. Okay. So this can be fixed with. Sorry, this can just be fixed with as it is. And this will be fixed with 2. This is just for content. This is just for content 2. Okay, so this is 82, 82, 82. Okay, calm. So we successfully built the selected state, selected hover. We'll just name this inactive. Inactive. Then we want the inactive hover as well. So we'll just come here, select this color, the blue color. Now while we hover on it, what happens? Okay, color changes to white as well. Okay, so we'll just say Command Z, come here to this hover and duplicate that one, like create a variant of that one instead, and say okay, we want to hide this, then give this 26 on the left as well, 26 on the left, then make this whole content, make this fixed width, fixed width, fixed width. Okay, so now this is our inactive hover. Now let's set the prototype. You come here, when you hover on this, it should bring you down here. When you hover, smart animate 300 milliseconds here as well. When you hover down, while hovering, it should bring you here. Right, so I'm just going to take my dashboard screen. Let me go back to design. Just take my screen back to the dark color it was at. You get me? Yes, sir. Just like that. So now we want to build this drop down. We want to build this drop down right now, right? So go back to the USD here. Want to build this drop down, right? So let's go build that drop down. So what we're going to do is say, okay, excuse me, we'll name this currency. All right, let's name this currency and come to my assets tab. Okay, we're almost done, guys. Come to my assets tab here, and I say I want to bring in one of the currency variants. Where is it at? Here. So I say insert instance, right? So I just bring that one here. I would press Command and Shift to drag one down, then press Command D again to bring out that one. Then select the 3 of them, press Shift A to put them in auto layout. I want to give it 4 on the top and bottom, or 8 on the 4 on the top and bottom, nothing on the right and left. Now for the fill color, I want to give it this fill color. So I'll just copy that here, do that again, right? Let's copy that. Just copy that. Yeah, so just copy that there, sorry. So we have that. Come here, click on selected to this one to selected, right? USD. Come here to inactive. Come here to inactive. Then from here, we'll just give this, instead of 15, we'll make this like 4, right? Let's check again to see how much space there is between. Not really much anyway. I'll say like 2 if you ask me. So I'll come back here and say like, I want the space in between to be like 2. Like 2, right? Now, okay, so I want this one, I want to change this one to AUR, and I want to change this one to EUR. Sorry, EUR, ARS. What currency is ARS, please? Like, I've been trying to figure it out, but I don't think I know it. So I'll just name this currency and take out that currency drop down, right? So currency drop down just like that. I think the icon is too big. I think the icon is too big, bro. Okay, you know what? Let me just give it 16. So I'll just give this one 16, and then I'll come here and give this 16 too. 16. Okay. So this is 24, 26. So let's do like this. 24. 24. 24. 24. Okay. So let me just delete this. Delete this. Delete this. Right. So we have this. Now this is our drop down, and this is our button, right? So I'll just make this an auto layout. Oh, sorry, a component. And also make this. Also make this a component, right? So is it making sense? Like, are you seeing how I'm able to like just build everything one by one? Initially, like, because Mr. Joseph always says that when you are building for design or development, right? Everything is always built individually before they are being attached together to form a structure. Does that make sense? So everything is being built individually before the Argentina pesos. Oh, for real? Bro, that's so crazy. I wouldn't have thought of that. Like, if that was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I would fail that question. If it was a 100 million naira question, I would fail it flat. ARS, I would have never thought of that, man. Argentinian peso. What? No way. Anyway, so basically, like, you see how we've been able to build everything singularly, then we're now like attaching it together, right? So now we have let's see, I think this has a border radius. This has, okay, so this is a bit rounded. So let's make this rounded too. Let's say we want this to be like what, 8, or let's say 4, 6 is not bad. Okay, so let's leave it like this. Then yeah, now we have this. So let's check this design again. When we click on this comes out, right? Don't click on this comes out, and this makes this one invisible, right? So when you click on this, kind of makes this one invisible, right? So let's see how we can apply that here, right? Give me a second. So exactly how we build this, the select components, right? Exactly how we build the select components. We're going to bring one of this and one of this and put it together in an auto layout, right? So I'll just come here. One sec. Right. So I would bring this currency button here. No, not this currency button, right? I'll insert an instance right here, then currency drop down as well. I'll just bring this, right? So you know what, I'll just put them in an auto layout first of all, the both of them. I'll take Control A, Shift A rather, right? And I'll name this one currency interaction, right? So I'll just say this is a currency interaction, right? Now this one here, I'll just put it to 0, 0, and I'll select this one and make it absolute position, right? Then I'll just bring it up, 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 bring it up till it gets to the top right there, right? Till it gets to the top right there. That's what I'll do. So click on this, make it components, and wait, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, right? So I'll just I'm thinking of what to do. Like when I created the components, okay, no, I know what to do, don't worry. Just put this on top of it, like the same way we have it, right? Same way we have it here. Kind of blocks out this one. When you click, it kind of blocks that one out, right? So the same way we have it here, we'll just do that, right? Then come here, and then we'll just make a component right here, right? And we'll add the variant, right? We'll add the variant just like that. So let's just increase this. Let's just increase this below, right? So let's go to our layers panel. So we have which one is default? We have this one default, and we have variant 2, right? So this is the currency interaction where we are. So this is default, the first one we built. So now we have the variant 2. So in the default, I want to make that absolute positioning invisible. So I'll just come to the currency drop down and I'll make it what, invisible right here, right here. So now I would also just bring this down a little bit, right? Then I'll select the variant 2 and I'll just drag it down. Let's drag it down, right? So now I'll come here. I'll call this one clicked. I'll just call this one clicked, right? So come here. When you hover on it, is there even any hover? There's no hover, Abby. There's no hover, just the regular hover here, just the regular hover here, right? So just say when you click on it, you want it to come here, right? So on click, you want it to go on click, smart animate, say less, click out. So let's even test that first. Let's just test that and see how it would work. So we are what, currency interaction, Abby. So let's come to our presentation frame. Let's come here to assets and say currency interaction. Just copy that, insert instance, and zoom out, bring, oh sorry, just go back to design, drag that down, put that back inside. So let's check it now. It's not clicking. Let's go back and reset the interaction, zoom in, come here, set interactions, Come here, and now you can click. So now you see. My laptop is a bit slow. Please just give it a second, please. This one is not moving. Okay, no wala, hold on. Let's go back here. Check the prototype. Yes, now it hovers now. When you hover on this, it comes here now. Yes, now. Let's take it out. Do it again. While hovering. Yes. Come here. Design. Reset interactions here. Come back. Exactly. So now we need to set it to the point that when you click on this ARS, it goes back to, you get something like this ARS, right? So let's do that. So now we want, this would be USD default. In fact, this should just be USD, right? This should just be USD. So this would be USD clicked. Right? So now we want ARS clicked, and EUR clicked, if that makes sense. So I'll just come here, drag this one all the way down. Come here, bring it down. I'll just write ARS. No, before I do that, Command Z. Come here. I want this to be the same. I don't want it to be changing. So I want this to fix height, fix width rather. And I want this to be fixed width as well. Or this can be hog, but that won't be fixed width. This can be hog, doesn't matter. So I'll just say ARS, Command Z. In fact, I want to delete this one self. Just delete. Come here, press plus, bring this one down. So I'll just say ARS, and if you check it, this is 50 width by 20 height. This is also 50 width by 20 height. That's what I wanted, so that by the time it's changing, it's not changed here in terms of width. You feel me? If you guys are following along so far, just let me know, I beg. If you guys are following along so far, let me know. So anyway, now this, we'll just call this ARS, right? Then we'll come here and say we want to give this one another variant as well. So we'll just bring that variance 4 down. Sorry, Command Z, right? Come here, press plus, right? So just drag that variant 4 down, go back to your layers. Now on that variant 4, you just name it ARS clicked, right? Now this one, come here, this one would be not selected, inactive. Then to be ARS, that will now be selected here, right? Just as we did the select components, if you remember. So I'll do the same again here. I'll press plus, drag that new one down. What's the name of this one? ARS click. So this one now will be EUR. This one will be EUR. .50 width as well. So we'll just zoom in. Name it EUR here. Right. Then come here. Give this a variance. Bring that variance 6 all the way down. And say this one will be what? EUR clicked. EUR clicked. Right. So now let's set the interaction. So now when you are here, If you click on this one, come to prototype here, click on this, you want this to change to ARS, right? Just like that. Then when you're here, you want this to, if you click on this, you want this to change to EUR, right? Not instant, smart animate. Here as well, not instant, smart animate. Smart animate, right? Now, when you're here, you want this one to go to USD, change to USD. When you're here, you want this to also change to EUR. So come here, change to EUR, just like that. Here, change to USD, right? Change to USD here. Then here, and change to EUR here. Change to EUR here, right? So, oh, I'm sorry. Command Z, come here to design. I'm sorry. I was supposed to change this here. So this is supposed to be selected, and this is supposed to be this is supposed to be inactive, right? Right. So that's it. So now one more thing, the prototype. Let me be sure I did the right thing. So USD here goes to USD here. This has to go to ARS. Change to ARS here, right? So let's check here. So wait, this is okay. This one goes to USD, this one goes to ARS, this one goes to EUR, this one goes to USD, this one goes to EUR, this one goes to ARS. So okay, we have that. So now let's see how it works. So click ARS, goes to ARS there, click on this. Supposed to be ARS selected. We'll click on ARS. Okay, so let's come back to design. Click on ARS now. Let's go to prototype. On click, it goes to USD click. We don't want it to go to USD click. We want it to go to ARS clicked. ARS clicked, right? EUR as well. We want it to go to EUR clicked. Right. So let's see. Let's come here, click on ARS. From ARS to see ARS is selected. Go back to USD. Click on USD, USD selected. Let's come back to EUR. EUR selected. So yeah, so we've built that one. So that's like we're already halfway, right? Right. Right. So we're already halfway there. Now let's impute this into here now, right? Into here. So first of all, from this USD frame to these icons, I think it's about 4-8 pixels, right? But okay, so let's build this, right? Let's build. I think this is similar to this. Let me restart this page and see how the default of this is. Give me a minute, guys. Okay, so this is the default state, right? So you can see that we have 00 here, then icons, these ones come up when we hover on it, normal cities. Okay, so let's go back, right? We have successfully built this interaction. So now let's implement it in our main design. Right, so I'll just come here and copy this, bring this to the right, and I want to name this price button 3. Okay, it has named already. Cool. So come here. This is the box I want to edit. This box. I want to edit this box. So I'll just drag with Alt and Shift to duplicate it. Sorry, Command Z there. Command Z. Okay. So I'll select this. Press Shift and Alt and drag that to the right. Just like that. Just like that. Okay. So all right. So come here, right? Let's check here. See how it is. We have the dollar sign on the left. So we'll just bring this dollar sign because we don't want that the way that thing interacted. We don't want it to mess with us again, right? Let's even see. Okay, here the dollar sign is on the left. Okay, you know what? Let's do that instead. Let's just delete this one and delete this one, right? So just come here, Shift and Alt, hold Shift and Alt, just drag that to the right here. So I'll name this one price button 3, just like that. Then I would come here. What am I trying to do? Trying to bring in this box inside there. So I would make this one visible first. Then I would bring in an instance, right? Not here. Just go back off here. Come here, come to my assets. Bring in what did I call that one? Currency interaction, right? So gone far. Okay, so I'll just bring in currency interaction right here. I say insert instance, right? So I will just bring that instance into here, bring it to the right. Oh, is it? Wait, let me see. When you hover on it, okay, this one is on the left, and I think this one is paired with this one. This one is on its own, right? So let's do that. So I'll say I want these two already paired. Cool. So I'll now say I want to pair these two with this one. Control A, Shift A rather, right? Then here I'll just say I want 8 pixels. Then I want this to fill container, and even space between, right? Just like that. So you see, we've been able to do that. Oof. So yeah, we've been able to do that, right? Now, let's copy here. Copy here. Please, guys, give me a second. I need to go do something. Just give me a second. Okay, guys, I'm back. So, so okay. So now I've been able to build this, right? So I'll just copy this. I'll just copy this, and I want to come and paste it here. I'll just paste it to replace here, right? Let me go back and see something. Okay, here's that to replace there. And I come here, say, I'll say this one, I want it to be fixed width, right? Fixed width. Same for this. I want this to be fixed width. Let me check this. Is this 4, 8? Definitely 8, definitely 8, definitely 8. Okay, so I want this to be fixed width too. If I come here, and say I want to hide this. Okay. Sorry, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Come here. I want this to fill container, this one. Fill container. Then this one, I want to hide it now. Exactly. So come here as well. Say you want this one to fill container. Fill container, just like that. Okay, cool. Yeah, moving on. Then I would also copy this. I'll copy this. Copy right here. Come here. Paste to replace right here. Right. Now come here. Zero. Come here, copy that white color. Copy that white color there. Come here to 0. Give 0 that white color. Right? Cool. Then come here, copy that. No, copy this frame. Copy it. Let me go back to my layers panel. Just so copy that. Come here. Paste to replace here. Come here. Paste to replace here. Okay. So here I need those arrow buttons. Same as here. Right. Right? Arrow button, yeah, exactly. So come here. I'll just, come here. Copy this. Come here. Paste it to replace. Copy this. Copy. Come here. Paste it to replace. Change this to 1. 1. Copy. Right. Come here. Paste to replace. Go inside that frame and make this one visible. Right. Copy it. Come here. Here. Paste to replace here. Come here. Paste to replace here as well. Okay, so let's see how far the interactions, right? So come to prototype, come here. While hovering, I want it to come here for sure. While it's here, we want to click here. So while it's here, when we click here on this one, wait, what? I can't see the hover. Why? 1 second, please. Just trying to check something. While I can't see the hover interactions on these buttons. I don't know why. Let me just set the interactions, no problem. Yep. Reset it here. Reset it here. Set interactions here. So let me see. See? Can't see the hover now. Can't see the hover now. Let me check here. Okay, so let me just select all those buttons. Select this. Select this. Select this. Come to design. Reset interactions. Come back to prototype. All of them have the hover again, as you can see. So come here. Select this. Select this. Select. Zoom in. Shift command. Hold both of them. Zoom in. Shift command. Hold both of them. Select this. Select this. Scroll down. Shift command. Hold it again. Select this. Select this. Select this. Select this. Come to design. Reset interactions here. If you go back to prototype, you can see the hover is back. So when you set an interaction on something before, and when you're checking it and it's not there, you just go and reset the interactions. You feel me? So now, from here, if you click here now, you can see that there's already a hover first of all. So now I want to click on this button and go to 1. So click here. On click, I want it to change to 1 clicked on. Not instant smart animates, right? Just like that. No voila. Now, here as well. If I click here, I want it to go to 1 clicked on. Change to 1 clicked on, just like that. Here as well. If I click on this, I want it to change to 1 clicked on. Not instant, I'm sorry. Smart animates. Come here. Check here. This one. Smart animates here. Okay. Click out there. How about here? Not set it here. So come here. Set it to on click. On click. We want it to change to 1 clicked on. Right? Right. Now let's go to 1 clicked on. Now 1 clicked on. It has an after delay that goes to 1 clicked off. That's what we want. Instant 300 milliseconds. That's what we want. Now when we click on it, we want to go back to 1 default. That's what we want. Let's come down here. This one has an after delay 300 milliseconds that goes to 1 clicked on instantly. That's what we want. So when you click on it, we want it to go to 1 default. So that's what we want. Now when we click down here, we want it to go back to 0. So click plus here. Say on click, we want it to change to 0 clicked on. Right? Come here as well. Click down. We want it to change to 0 clicked on. Right? Not instant. Smart animates here as well. Change this one to smart animates. Smart animates right there. Okay. Zoom out. Come here. Here we want to be able to go to 0 from here as well. Plus change to 0 clicked on. Smart animate. Here, how about here? We have it here. We have it here. Okay, so here hovers down. I here is there hover here? No. Okay, so now let's see how far this button now. Let me just delete this. Delete that. Come to assets. With primary button 3. So primary button 3, just come here, select instance, Command X to cut it, Command V to paste it. It's not inside yet. Drag it out, go back to my layers panel, and I will just bring that here. Sorry, Command Z, come back to design. I'll just drag that inside here. Right, so I'll come back here. It's not even hovering. Let's go and reset interactions again. So come here, reset interactions, come back. Now it's hovering. See, it's hovering. So if we do this, no problems, no problems. Let's just come back here, zoom in, select this, Shift Command, select this, select this, select this, select this, select this, this, and this. You don't necessarily have to do this all the time. Sometimes if you just restart your Figma, it will work, but I don't have that time. Reset interactions. Let's come here. All right. All right. But if you notice in here, when you click on it here, it stops at the end of this frame. Or let me say it enters inside. I don't know how to explain it, but it kind of stops at the end of this frame, right? If that makes sense. So let's do some math to determine how that will work. So let's just say from here to here is 12 pixels. Like from here to here is 12 pixels, right? So let's come back here. Let's see. Wait, Command Z. So come here. I'll just before, let me just bring it down to just see. I want to see 16. Okay, so this is 12. Okay, so let me just bring this up. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Two, 1, 2. Okay, so same for here. Just come here. $28, 1, 2, 12. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you want to know how I'm getting all these, I'm pressing Alt, like pressing Alt. If I come here and press Alt, you just see I just hover on this, press Alt, or click on it and press Alt. Click on it, come here, press Alt. So I'm just pressing Alt to see all these dimensions, right? So here, 1, 2. Oh, no, that this one. 1, 2. Yep. Yeah, so 12, 8, 9. Okay, so now let's see. Exactly. Share you get me. So you click on ARS now. See, perfect, man, perfect. I'm not even going to lie, I deserve an applause for this. Like, I bust my own head, honestly, because I didn't know I could do this. Like, You get me? So yeah, it makes mad sense. It makes mad sense. As in, I bust my own head down. I'm never going to lie. Like, if you had told me that I could do this like yesterday, I'd be like, nah, because it's not easy, man. I'm never going to lie. Like, it's just so you just understand that more. Are just concepts. We did all the trial and error for this particular component on this stream. I'm not going to lie. I have not done this before. And you click out, it goes back to default. And just come here, click on ARS, it's back here. So I think this is it, man. This is it, my guys. What do you guys have to say, man? Do you guys have any questions? Do you want me to, is there something that I haven't done you want me to treat? Or you guys have seen all my videos? I appreciate the watch, everything. I know I'm also sharing knowledge, but I appreciate you guys for even, encouraging me, watching the videos and giving feedback, reaching out to me. I appreciate it. I appreciate it for real. So on this one, Sharp, how far? Is this something you feel you can do? Is there anything we need to touch on again? Is there any other topic that we should touch on? Please let me know so I can do that now. I have this time, I have the ginger, I can just go through it. Honestly, like, the OCD in me will not stop until I've covered everything. And if you guys say, oh, let's do something else, I don't have a choice. I have to get on it. Do you understand? So I'm just waiting for feedback from you guys. Whatever you guys say goes, man, honestly. What part needs touching on, please? That busts your own brain. Please touch on the part that busts my brain. Let's do it again. Bro, I don't understand you. Like, just rephrase what you're trying to say, I beg. Alpha Shogun, like, I don't understand what you mean. Can you, like, just, like, run it by me again so I get what you're trying to say? Yeah, now, like, what I'm trying to say is I couldn't believe I could build this, like, this component. Just this, like, because if you look at it from here, right, it's like, you have to open this, click this has to stay on its own, this has to work on its own. So it's like building two working interactions and putting them inside one. And then, like, so honestly speaking, yeah, for the other components, I either had done them on my own before, or I have previously encountered or like done something like that before in the past. But for this particular one, this one here, like, the fact that, like, this one now that goes up and down, all these ones, I have some experience with it. But this one, building a drop down inside a button that has another working interaction like this, I've never done that before. So it was the idea of bringing both of them together into one that busted my head. It's not like there was anything, like, that's what I meant when I meant, like, I deserve an applause, because I didn't think I could do it. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think I could do it. Like, because if you notice me throughout the whole stream, I was just thinking, like, I was just like trying to, okay, how do I, but try do it again. We can't try to do it again. There's no time for them. We can't even try to do it again. We spent 3 hours just trying to do that little thing, bro. Like, yeah, bro, we spent like 3 hours just trying to do that small thing right there. I promise you. So that's a lot. But thank you guys for tuning in so far. I'm on a try pass, man. You guys have made this amazing. I'm live. If you have any questions, please ask. I don't mind staying on here for another 30 minutes, just answering questions. But if you guys want to go to bed, no wala. If you run on another time. Is there anything that I didn't touch on? Is there any questions you want to ask? Is there something you're trying to ask me? Have you been trying to reach me and I've been snubbing you? I know I have not, but I'm just saying. You can ask me any questions now, please. So you can just treat any basic thing here. Okay. I don't think anybody has a question to ask. Okay. Well, in the absence of no questions, I think we can call it a day. So far, we've been able to just review these components, these major components here. Something else. I think this is in medium. It's not in light. So I'll just, firstly, I'll come here. I'll just make this one regular. Yeah, regular is better. Where? Here. So I'll just select that, shift command, select this, select this, select this, and I'll make it regular. So this will change, this will change, all of these will change. Yeah. So now if you check it, exactly, it's better, it's bolder. Yep. 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 Yeah. Perfect, 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 perfect. Can you try to see if the drop down can you try to see if the drop down can change from USD1 to USD2 when you on the value of 2 and still be on €2? Okay, so we didn't prototype up to €2, right? So I know what you're saying. Let me explain. Let me do that. So this is 0. We only did 0 and 1. So if you come to 0 now, this is 0, for example. As it is even blinking on 0, you can come here and change it to ARS and change to ARS just like that. And it's still blinking. If while it's still blinking, you can come and change it to EUR to still be on EUR and it's still blinking. You go to 1, it's on 1, it's still on EUR. You go back to ARS, it's on ARS and it's on 1 blinking. Sure you get. So it works perfectly, bro. MK, does it make sense? Does it work the way you expect it to? For MK, did you see what I did? Does it work the way you want it to? Like, give me a feedback, please. Oh, you missed. Okay. Are you sure? But you said you missed that part now. Now I'm confused. It works the way you want it to. Okay. All right. All right. But let me just run over it again. So it is on 1 now. If I click on it, it goes off. Just come here. Click on USD. It's on USD now. If I click on it again, say I want to click down, it comes to 0. It's on USD. Change that to EUR. It's on EUR and it's still blinking. If I click to go off, it goes off and it's still on EUR. If I go to number 1, it's on number 1 and it's still on EUR. So I think it works the way you would expect it to. Yeah. I'm sure there are different methods to achieve it. You were saying something about variable, like the variable method, Abby. I would check on it for ascending and probably like descending numbers animations using variables. I'll see how it works. But no wala now. No wala. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this long. Shouts out to you guys, man. You guys are the real OGs for real. Yeah. Thank you guys, man. Good night to everyone and good luck on the assignment. That's submit tomorrow. So yeah, man. Good luck, guys.